Welcome to So Many Receipts. I'm Shelley Seddon.
And I'm Fleur Michelle.
And we're two entertainment journos based in Sydney, Australia who love to analyse and talk about all things reality TV and pop culture.
In Deep Dive, we go all in on stuff we're dying to know about, plus chats you won't want to miss.
Welcome to our special and just like that Deep Dive, which we jokingly call, I couldn't help but wonder, what the hell have they done to this show? So as this episode had a theme of saying everything 3 times, I'm saying this. It's ending, it's ending, it's ending. So it's just been announced that the series is coming to a conclusion.
Oh, I'm actually sad about it. I think I'd prefer a world with a bad Sex and the City series than a world without it. I read an article which had the headline, "This show was terrible and it should never have been made, but I'll still miss it." And that's how I feel about it as well. Plus, I don't like change. I'm just used to watching it every week now. Well, it's part of my life.
I'm not sad about it, just because what's sad to me is that it was such a missed opportunity. And I actually think that HBO decided not to renew the show because it is crazy expensive. And the ratings have absolutely tanked. So the 3 women get $1.5 million per episode.
Oh, God.
There are 12 episodes in this season.
Wow.
And the last 3 seasons of Sex and the City, SJP made $3.2 million per episode. So it was just going to get even more expensive to make. And I personally think they did a Jax Taylor and let Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker pretend like it was their decision to end the show just to save face.
I do agree with that. I don't think it was supposed to end at this point, as they've only just introduced some new storylines, like Miranda's son getting a girl pregnant, plus Carrie and Duncan, they've only just started up this new relationship. Plus, Cynthia Nixon and Kristen Davis are also executive producers. SJP and MPK say they made this decision just between the two of them. If the show was always going to wrap at this point, surely she wouldn't have given the other 2 main stars more of a heads up. Right? I think it feels like they literally just made this decision in the last week or so.
Yeah, so SJP and MPK are actually the showrunners. They run the show. But I think the other women are given these exec producer credits just as a courtesy. But so we, at the beginning of this ep, we now know it is autumn, as Carrie tells us, and the lady had done all she could, had done all she could, had done all she could. So Duncan declares these profound words Scotch-worthy and thinks they should celebrate. And I think everything she reads out loud is so bad and cringy. And I keep wondering, is he taking the piss? Is this his dry British sense of humor? But he seems to actually be serious. I mean, does he want to sleep with Carrie that badly?
Well, he got his way in the end because, yes, they do sleep together in this episode. Can I just remind everyone that she just broke up with Aiden not that long ago and only now just seems to realise that she's more than just a little attracted to Duncan? I mean, Carrie, you're 60. Aren't you supposed to be more mature on the ball kind of person now? I mean, time's running out for you on this show.
Yeah, I have to say Duncan looked quite sexy in this episode. And I would like to note that he is sitting at a round wooden table. The ugly $7,000 first dibs table representing Carrie and Aiden's relationship has mysteriously disappeared. The whole house is also now completely furnished.
So she didn't just move this table to another room? Doesn't it have 27 rooms?
Yeah.
Could be in the basement.
On the Writers' Room podcast, they said they very deliberately got rid of the table to make a point that this relationship is over.
Oh, okay.
So I actually really did like the banter between Duncan and Carrie. And I want to know, since when does Carrie have 7 best-selling books? I know there was one based on her columns, and she wrote one about Big Dying, but what are the other 5 about?
I thought that as well. Does that mean then she had just 6 books out about her columns?
Yeah.
What publisher would even give it that much attention? Or did she self-publish?
Yeah, I don't think self-publishing was a thing back then. But I have to say, at one point, Duncan ventures upstairs, and Carrie also now has an office and a whole room for her shoes. And so while they're up there, Duncan invites her to this publisher party, strictly on a professional basis. And the thing is, she's never experienced a man seeing her as smart first. And it's a new experience, and she doesn't know if she wants to ruin that. So I don't know why she feels like she needs all this praise from Duncan to validate her. Obviously, she apparently has 7 bestsellers.
Yeah, right. But is he really a good match for her? I mean, often two creatives in the same field clash, 2 actors, 2 singers, 2 writers.
Yeah, so remember Jack Berger, that didn't
yes.
exactly go well for her.
No. So not sure about the future of this relationship. Not that I'll ever find out. It's going to end in 2 episodes' time.
Yeah.
I think Carrie would be a pain for any man to date.
Yeah, I think she's very high maintenance.
Kind of person.
Yeah. So she has this Vivienne Westwood dress hanging in her closet, but she decides to wear a more conservative but still sexy business suit to the event. And at the last minute, she decides, F it, I'm going to wear the over-the-top dress. And I have to say, her outfits, especially this season, seem really costumey.
They were.
Yeah. So, we had the Mormon wife, a milkmaid. So now she's a pirate's wench. And her boobs were boobing. I mean, Carrie never gets the girls out. And plus, she's rocking this wild hair with a side part. So she's changed her hair because, that's what you do after a breakup.
Yeah.
At least she didn't cut it.
Yeah, she just put some, curlers or a wand through it. I mean, I didn't like the side part. I didn't like the dress either. Pirates wench meets Oktoberfest barmaid is right. It was unflattering and it looked really silly to me. I mean, this show was an opportunity to show Carrie in chic gear that was more ready to wear and inspiring for women our age. Instead, we kept getting haute couture and Lady Gaga outfits that just made no sense for most of the population.
Well, I don't think Carrie's ever really been a ready-to-wear girl. I mean, she rocks tutus and strawberry shortcake hats, and, she carries a pigeon purse. But I loved the sexy business suit and the sky-high heels. I actually thought that would have been perfect for her to wear to this event.
And at the event, we meet Duncan's publisher, Imogen. She's smart, beautiful, and his ex-wife. I actually didn't realise she was his wife until you pointed it out.
Yeah. So Imogen is actually really excited to meet Carrie Bradshaw, and Duncan realizes that Carrie is a thing in New York.
So Duncan's a writer, and he does his research, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't he have researched the hell out of Carrie? He's got Google, right? So one quick search and he'd be drowning in 20 years worth of columns, interviews, photos of her wearing questionable outfits in Times Square. He's reacting as if he's only just found out she's a known figure. I mean, it seems like it took his ex-wife to tell him for him to realise.
I feel like that's a female thing. It's a woman thing. Like, women research and Google people. I don't know if guys Google people like we do.
He's not given her a LinkedIn sort of scan over.
I Google everyone. But so Carrie learns from Imogen that Duncan is a mess. So he may be a mess, but Samantha did say he was known to be good fun, and I bet you that he's good in bed. And so when when we get back to the townhouse, Carrie ends up doing the dirty with Duncan Donuts. So on the Writers' Room podcast, they said they didn't want to show the sex. So I just wish they would have done the same thing with Anthony and Giuseppe in this episode. So I don't need to see Anthony naked, which we will get to in a bit.
I know those sex scenes with him and Giuseppe. Oh my God, that was a hard watch.
Yeah.
I looked down at my phone at that point.
Yeah. So we see Carrie and Duncan post-sex. Carrie is in her underwear as per usual, and this time she's in her blue bra. And I have a plot hole alert here. I do not think that Duncan would have a waxed chest. He's a British grumpy old get who writes about Margaret Thatcher and smokes a pipe. I mean, really?
How do you know it's waxed? Maybe he's just hairless there.
Well, but he would have old man gray hair, chest hair,
out.
Yeah, I don't think he would be smooth as a baby. But anyway, so the writers said this was always going to be a great one-night stand, and then Duncan would leave, no strings, no expectations, no one gets hurt. So to me, I feel like Duncan is like a palate cleanser between courses. Between Aiden and the next great love, he's just a little bit of fun, a little fling. I think she is now ready for her single Carrie era.
So I don't get the great one-night stand bit. She looked miserable afterwards. Did she fake it? Or was it full-blown depression sex? Honestly, I'm with Mia Friedman, who wrote in her Substack not long ago, Carrie gave off major sad girl era energy this season. Duncan was bouncing around looking like he just won the lottery afterwards, while Carrie just sat there moping. Like she'd accidentally slept with her Uber Eats driver or someone and instantly regretted everything. She looks sad.
Well, I did think she needed to take a hit of that joint that he was smoking. I thought that would have helped her a lot. So what do we think is going to happen? Like, how are they going to wrap this thing up?
Oh, well, I don't know if this will happen or not, but maybe we will see Carrie at her computer looking up airfares to London, as that's where Duncan lives half of the time. And then maybe she'll text Samantha, saying, I'm going to be paying you a visit soon. Maybe it will give us all hope that Carrie's going to ride off into the sunset with Duncan and repair her fractured relationship with her BFF soulmate, Samantha.
Yeah, well, I think someone's going to go on a book tour. Maybe Carrie goes to London or Duncan comes back to New York, and then they get together for a scotch and sex session.
Oh, okay.
So I have to say, so we got this mystery appearance from Steve, who showed up for the first time this season. He's still around. And I swear his accent gets even more pronounced each time we see him. He is a cranky old man. And I'm just waiting for him to yell, "You kids get off my lawn." Mm-hmm. So he's at Miranda's new place, and Brady, their son, is cooking them dinner. And then Brady tells them he got a girl pregnant. He's slept with her maybe twice. He was pretty wasted. He doesn't know her last name, and he only found out because he ran into her on the street and she was heavily pregnant. And she wants nothing to do with Brady. He's 20 and has just enrolled at the Culinary Institute to become a chef.
So Steve loses his shit. And I thought David Eigenberg, who plays Steve, was great in this scene. It was the yappy old Steve getting all crabby again. I didn't like how they turned him into a deaf, feeble old man in this series.
Yeah.
This is the old Steve that made him such a compelling character in the first place.
Yeah, I totally agreed with Steve in this scene. And I was actually surprised that Miranda immediately slut-shamed the baby mama when the show has been accused of being so woke. So she said, how do you know it's yours? Which is fair enough.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'd ask that too.
But then it sounds like she sleeps with a lot of people. And so what happens is Charlotte and Miranda end up going to this Brooklyn hair salon to spy on the baby mama, Mia. And it turns out she's this shampoo girl who's working on a wellness app as well. But she's also sipping on a Red Bull while she's pregnant. So another thing that's weird is Mia is farting in Miranda's face during her shampoo.
That surprised me. I don't remember that happening to me when I was pregnant. Thank God.
Well, apparently it's this callback to Miranda, who farted when she was pregnant and she was shoe shopping with one of the girls.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. So Mia, the baby mama, says she was actually going to get an abortion before she found out the baby was going to be a double Libra, which she says is such an effing vibe.
So Miranda then asks about a paternity test and Mia gets suspicious. So Miranda has to come clean and says she's Brady's mum. As if the red hair wouldn't give it away.
Right.
Mia is furious and Miranda has just made things worse.
So note, I have a little Easter egg from this episode. Mia is played by Ella Stiller, who is the daughter of Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor. And she's also the granddaughter of Ann Mira, who played Steve's mother on Sex and the City. So she would also be Brady's on-screen grandmother. So it's kind of confusing, but I like to think of this as not creepy and kind of an homage.
Oh, that's interesting. So Ann Mira is Ben Stiller's mom.
Correct.
What an odd connection.
Yeah. So over at the Wexleys, it is finally freaking election day. And so Herbert has been running for this comptroller position for 2 seasons. And the family gets in the elevator. They're on their way to his campaign headquarters. They're confident that Herbert's going to win. The polls say he's 5 points ahead. And 1 second later, the door opens for the elevator and we see the defeated, shell-shocked family exiting. Herbert has lost. So the working class swayed the vote and it's against him. That's it. This was the longest, most drawn-out comptroller campaign ever, and this is all we get.
And it was absolutely the most boring storyline out of the whole show. If they were going to bore us with career drama, at least make it realistic. Why don't they threaten him with redundancy or having them panicking about finding a new job in his 50s, which is something a lot of people go through. I will miss LTW's pretty face and those gloriously unnecessary accessories.
Yes.
Like her pearl choker this week, it looked like it was made from actual golf balls, but I won't miss anything else about the characters.
Well, I will just say hopefully LTW will finish her doco after 8 years.
Oh, yes.
And I think they should get Michelle Obama in to narrate the doco, not be one of the sheroes. And I still predict that Marion will turn out to be gay.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll watch that.
So we're going to talk about...
Watch this space.
Yes. We're going to talk about the very abrupt cut to Anthony and Giuseppe having sex in this app. We're going to revisit this.
Sorry.
I know. Yeah. A hot fireman knocks on the door and tells them there's a gas leak and they need to leave the building. So Giuseppe says they can go to his apartment. And so they've been dating for a while, but Anthony has never been there. And I thought his apartment would be really nice since we know his mother, Patty Lupone, is clearly wealthy. And Anthony doesn't even know how many roommates he has. And it turns out it's one, this artist who works the night shift at Whole Foods.
I did laugh when Anthony said, "You told me he worked at Whole Foods, not Old Foods."
Yes. So when we actually see, this roommate and meet him, he is an elderly man who makes marionettes, puppets. So he has one that looks exactly like Giuseppe. So that's not creepy at all. And Anthony's really disturbed, rightly so, by this situation. And he asks Giuseppe if he wants to move in. And Giuseppe's like, we'll move in eventually, but let's not move too fast. So Giuseppe ducks out to go to the bathroom. And on his way, he happens to walk by his roommate's workroom and he sees him whacking off with the shirtless Giuseppe puppet. So Giuseppe immediately decides that he's moving in with Anthony.
The creepy old man whacking off, the strange puppet, the awkward sex scenes, the drab bedroom. It was like a horror movie. I was cringing.
Yeah, the storyline was weird. So, and over at him, Charlotte and Harry's, they both have apparently made miraculous recoveries. They're out of their beds, and Charlotte has decided to embrace life and live in the moment, so she's doing something radical. She is changing the wallpaper in the hallway, which she has always hated.
So Harry's already recovered from cancer?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, changing wallpaper apparently takes a team of men with power tools, huh?
Yeah.
She's won a charity auction for an energy cleanse with a woman named Rhonda, but every time Charlotte tries to have a Zoom with her, it's too noisy. They're a workman. Rock has been cast in a play, is practicing tap dancing right outside her bedroom door. Could the kids in the show be any more annoying?
I know. Her kids are especially annoying. And so Charlotte eventually goes to Carrie's townhouse because it's quiet. And she gives Carrie a pep talk about Duncan and finally has her Zoom call with Rhonda the psychic, who turns out to be the fabulous Susie Essman from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she's fabulous. She's fabulous. So they've been trying to figure out a way to get her on the show. So they've stuck her in, towards the end of the series.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Seema has been looking for deal breakers the entire time she's been with Adam. He didn't wear deodorant. His name was Adam Karma. Now she's thinking, he probably has this crap apartment, and the queen of real estate can't date someone with a bad apartment.
And it turns out Adam has a great Greenwich Village artist's apartment with an incredible view. His family's lived there forever, and now the apartment is his and it's rent controlled, and it's filled with his deceased mum's pottery and plants that she tended when she was alive.
Yeah, and there's this particular plant that Adam says represents his mother, and Seema accidentally knocks it out the window when she's having a post-sex ciggy. So she freaks out about the plant and thinks the relationship must be over because she's killed his mother in plant form, and she ends up ghosting Adam. But he shows up at her now bustling office, and they are back on. So what is your prediction for how this is going to end with Seema?
Well, she's obviously going to end up with him because she won't be able to fight and break up with him so quickly in just 2 episodes. She'll just end up with him. She'll have a successful new business and a sexy new man. The end.
Agree.
And just like that, that's all we have time for. Join us next week for our deep dive into episode 11.